Now that was a clip in TDS of what I'd like to call Koa is overpowered. An accelerator too, but that's besides the point. The commander is a staple in the hit game Tower Defense game. Tower Defense Simulator. It costs around 3,500 coins to unlock and is one of the best towers in the game. Many players during mid-game, you know, level 30s, should have already bought this tower, and if not, they'd probably retire. Anyways, the commander provides fire rate. What this essentially does is give your towers a higher damage output, making your towers a lot better and more powerful. In other words, doing a lot of damage. The fire rate it gives isn't along when you first place the tower. It only gives 10% fire rate. Okay, let's actually talk about the upgrades first before we get too into the tower. When you first place the tower, it costs around $650. It has an okay range and gives about 10% fire rate to any tower in the commander's range. The first level costs $850. It basically increases the range a little and gives an extra 5% fire rate, making it 15% fire rate to any tower in its range. The second level costs $1,800, named Call of Arms, and it's probably the best ability in the game. Since it's like one of the only towers that actually has an ability, if I remember correctly, what this essentially does is increases the fire rate of your towers to 45%. It has a 30-second cooldown, but this ability is incredibly overpowered, and I'll talk about it later in like another section of the video. The third level costs around $5,500. It just increases the range, gives another 5% fire rate, so now all the towers in its range has 20% fire rate permanently. Also, it gets cold drip. I mean, look at this. Sick, isn't it? The fourth and final level of the commander costs $9,000, and although it's quite expensive, it's very much worth. It gives an extra 5% fire rate to all towers in its range, and increases the commander's range a lot. Now, if you're doing a Koa, that's what I'm calling it now since it's shorter and easier to say, ability, you get 55% fire rate, which is insane if you are using Accelerator or Golden Minigunner. It can do a lot of damage. Alright, now that we've talked about the levels and how each works, let's actually talk about the commander in general, since that's the video, a guide of the commander. Okay. The commander is a special case because it is a tower that doesn't really output damage, but helps other towers output more damage. This is commonly known as a support tower, just like the DJ or, you know, the John Tower. Please below, bring him back, he was so OP. Anyways, the problem with it being a special case is if your teammate does not really know how it works. Like, for God's sake, can you at least use your Koa ability if we're far away from the dangerous waves so we can get more money faster and beat the waves more faster? Some players, man, come on. But in some rare cases, like in events, that makes sense. If you really know what you're doing, you can just spam Koa if you want. But in like the Solar Eclipse event or the Easter Egg event, you need to Koa chain as much as you can. As I said, I'll talk about it later. It's stressful since you're like moving your towers to attack the boss more, and you have to keep using your Koa ability while your ping is literally at 300 MS, and your teammates are slandering you to keep Koa chaining when you don't use the Koa ability on for 0.5 seconds. Guys, it's just hard to use the commander sometimes. Okay, time for some clips since I literally don't know what to type. So look at this. In this clip, as you can see, I'm in wave 30 and there's a tank that is going to run at me. And as for those who don't know what a tank is in TDS, it's basically a running zombie with 6,000 HP. Anyways, he's going to run at me and my teammates are gone. So what do? I max out my gladiator, panically get another golden minigunner, and right before the tank comes to my tower's range, I did Koa ability and used my gladiator skill. God, luckily, I killed it. And right as I did, my teammates rejoined. Fine combat. Koa really helped my butt there for a second, to be honest. Would have probably died if it weren't for it. But then again, after that stressful wave, we easily killed the Fallen King, so it's no big deal. Here's another clip. So remember that clip I showed you in the start of the video? The one where the Molten boss's HP, you know, just disintegrated. You know, that clip? Here's the actual clip. So it's wave 40, right? I have the Executioner, Farm, Commander, Militant, and the Gladiator. Originally, I planned to just use the Commander, but I thought, you know, I'ma just try and have fun with it, you know? I got bored, so I did. Militant got Johnskin, so I just used that since it looked cool. And Executioner is like a breath of fresh air from the Gladiator, and Gladiator is self-explanatory as well as the Commander, obviously. Anyways, when it's wave 40, I quickly sold my farms, got my Gladiator's ability up, the usual. But all of a sudden, when I did a Koa ability when the Molten Titans arrived, look at the Molten boss's HP! It just disintegrated into half of its HP! Like what? I was just casually doing my stuff, you know, using Koa, Gladiator ability, focusing on it, and boom, half of its HP is just Thanos snapped. And quickly, after the accelerators are back to working mode, aka from getting stunned, it quickly took care of the Molten boss. That was my record time too. 12 minutes and 41 seconds is my best time in Molten, since it's with 2 people, of course. Okay, done with that tantrum of clip dumps. let's talk about the commander again, shall we? The hit game Tower Defense Simulator also has skins, and some of the skins has woman, and one of the skins with woman is the commander. Ironically, I wanted the Neko DJ. This is off topic, but yeah, I got the Neko commander. So below, hit me up, man. Come on, give me the Neko DJ, please. I have so much commander skins already. Like, for God's sake, just give me a DJ skin. You know, any DJ skin would work. Okay, yeah. Some of the skins of the commander looks really cool. Take this skin for example, the Galactic skin, a space-themed commander skin, and it does the pew pew sound when it shoots zombies as well. Pretty cool. The one I really wanted though was the Maid commander because my friend got the Neko DJ. He was trying to get the Mage Excel as well, and I was chanting Neko DJ, get Neko DJ, and he actually got it. And that was hilarious. Quite an LOL moment, if I do have to say so myself. But back to the point. It looks pretty cool for the Maid commander and the Neko DJ. It's quite an irreplaceable duo because two of the best support towers in the game, you know? Okay, finally. I think it's like 5 minutes into the video since I'm writing the script and not the one editing. I just hope it's that long. My point is, it's been that long. Let's talk about the Koa chain now. Koa chaining is when you use 2% of your brain power and continuously use the Koa ability. You need 3 commanders and all of them need to be level 2. One can be max leveled, so the rest of the towers can get 55% fire rate when doing the Koa ability. I don't understand how almost no one knows this, because when I was doing the secret wave thing, you know, when it still existed with my with some of my friends and some people, it had the strat there, you know. Max 1 commander and put the other 2 commanders for the Koa chain. And then the other towers can get a permanent 55% fire rate. I don't know how no one knows that, but okay, anyways, back to the point. You have to use the Koa ability, wait around 12 seconds for the Koa ability to end, then use another Koa ability in the other commander. I think I'll just call these 3 commanders A, B, and C. So use A's Koa ability, then wait 12 seconds, then use B's Koa ability, then wait 12 seconds, then use C's Koa ability. Now this is fine when you're like playing normally, Molten mode, Fallen mode, you know, the usual. Until you realize you have to move half of your towers to the other side. Now do you get why having the commander in large scale events like the Frost Invasion events is stressful, you know? You have a 12-second time gap to sell your towers and place them in the back whilst activating your Koa ability. Also, sometimes you also have to sell your commanders and put them in the back. Yeah, I think you get it. But that's a massive con in the back. Let's talk about how good this actually is. So, Koa chaining basically gives a continuous and basically permanent fire rate of 55%, or 50% or 45% depending on your commander's level. This essentially means you have 1.5 times the amount of damage you're doing at that present time of the Koa abilities. Now combine that with the DJ's buff and it becomes impossibly good. It could have been an amazingly, astounding, startling trio if John wasn't replaced for this useless militant. Back in my day, the John Tower had an ability that gave all the towers in range 30% extra juicy damage. Although it's quite expensive, it's so good.
It gives all towers around it a 20% damage buff, and it only lasts for 5 seconds. And in the future, though, it's probably going to be around 40% around that range, because 20% buff kind of sucks. It kind of does nothing, pretty much.
Yeah, good stuff. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, Commander does damage. You will barely notice it, however, since it does such a minuscule amount of damage, you'll almost forget that it does damage, just like me. The fire rate that each pistol shoots is like 0.6 seconds, and it does like 10 damage. Well, I wonder it's so bad as a DPS tower. Doesn't take an expert to tell you that. Except it did. Huh. Alright, finally, time to wrap up this short video. Overall, the Commander is one of the best towers in the game that every single person needs to buy and use. Except if one of your mates is using it, then just use the DJ. I'll talk about the DJ, maybe, in another in-depth guide video, but yeah. The Commander gives an amazing fire rate buff and has an amazing utility when you're doing Koa chains, getting a permanent buff of 45%, 50%, or 55% fire rate. Although its cost is expensive, it's definitely worth the buck. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video, or this video, I don't know. In Scream time. See ya.